This is Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. The CIA is suing a former CIA case officer because of a critical book he wrote in 2008 entitled The Human Factor Inside the CIA's Dysfunctional Intelligence Culture. The man being sued goes by the name Ishmael Jones, his pen name. He's on the phone with us right now. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me, Ashley.
Why did you write this book?
I wrote it as a whistleblower, Ashley, to expose the fraud and corruption and to propose constructive solutions for what we need to do to make Americans and our allies safer.
When you were writing it, did you have any idea the CIA would be coming after you?
It was a possibility. As I did a flow chart of eventualities, it's a possibility. I knew it could happen, and not so late in the game, but I knew it could happen, and I was prepared for the consequences.
The civil suit claims that you breached a 1989 agreement by publishing the book without the CIA's permission and in violation of your secrecy agreement. What's your response to that?
They have, this dates back to the SNEP case of the 70s. There have always been laws in place to prevent revealing classified information. This is just a censorship issue, but I did do my best to get their approval. I wrote this book and I gave it to them, and I gave them a year and repeated requests to tell me what they wanted me to strike out, what they wanted me to rewrite. There is no classified information in the book. They just merely considered it threatening to their lifestyle.
Did you violate your secrecy agreement with them?
Not in my opinion. In my secrecy, my perception of secrecy agreements is no classified information, no secrets. But if there's a multi-billion-dollar fraud going on, then it's my duty as an American to expose it and fix the problem.
The lawsuit says you should turn over all the money you made on the book to the CIA, but you say you did not profit from it. How's that?
That's right. I made it very clear from the beginning that this would not be a book designed for the author's profit. All the money I've received on this goes to veterans charities. I won't touch a penny.
The book portrays the CIA as top-heavy with waste. Can you give some examples of that, sir?
The program I was in was human intelligence. Most intelligence experts believe that human intelligence is vital. After 9/11, Congress specifically gave the CIA $3.5 billion over a period of years to get more officers on the streets in foreign countries. This money was spent without essentially a single new effective officer appearing on a foreign street. There were people hired, lots of people hired, but stacked up within buildings in the D.C. area and throughout the United States where they are ineffective.
Take that a step further. You say CIA officers should get out of the United States and overseas into target countries. It's generally believed that the CIA is supposed to work in foreign countries, but is it not that way in the real world?
It's not that way. When the CIA was founded, we had the example of the Russian KGB, which operates everywhere, and the Russian spy services, which are heavily focused on the country's own citizens. So we wanted to separate the two and wanted to have our FBI handle criminal and intelligence within the United States and the CIA be entirely focused overseas. That's in the charter. So it's a violation of the charter today to have more than 90% of CIA employees living and working entirely within the United States.
One of the complaints about the CIA you hear is that it's very deficient in foreign language speakers. Has that changed at all?
I sort of disagree on that, Ashley, because I thought the place was chock full of language speakers. Some of the languages tended not to get developed beyond initial training. This is one of the ploys the CIA has always done. When there's an intelligence failure, they go to Congress and they say, yeah, we failed, but we need better people who speak better languages and can pose as different nationalities. Give us another $3 billion in 5 years and we'll deliver that to you. The CIA already has all the talent it needs. It just has weak leadership.
Liberal Democrats were very critical of the Bush administration after learning that the CIA operated clandestine overseas detention facilities. Now, in your opinion, did those detention centers serve an important purpose?
They did. I didn't work on them myself, but I had colleagues involved in them, and I was unaware of any torture. I talked to my colleagues about these things. Their experience was that they'd often get a young terrorist. They'd capture the guy. They'd be nice to him. He'd start talking, and they would be able to foil terrorist attacks that were about to happen.
There are some who claim waterboarding of terrorists resulted in some valuable intelligence that helped thwart further attacks. Others, mostly liberal Democrats, argue that waterboarding is torture. Which side do you agree with and why?
I just don't think waterboarding is a necessary tool. I just don't. In human intelligence, we have to use volunteer information, not anything derived by torture. I think that waterboarding was probably an aberration that occurred in the panic after 9/11.
Have the operations of the CIA changed at all since the Obama administration took over from President Bush?
I fear not. I thought that the appointment of Leon Panetta would be a hopeful thing because as a politician, he would have close connection to the president, therefore power to make reform changes. But unfortunately, Panetta has just brought the seamy side of politics. He's a leaker. He's a player. He's not a leader. So there haven't been the changes that we need.
You're not impressed with Leon Panetta as CIA head then?
No, I'm afraid not. He had a lot of potential, but I think he's been Stockholmed. It's a weird process that happens to our senior managers there. They forget that they're there to serve America, and they come to serve the bureaucracy instead.
And finally, Bush has been credited with keeping America safe after 9/11. Are we just as safe under Obama or not?
It's just a matter of time. He can say that. Bush can say that because he's out of office. He's off the bridge of the ship. But we don't want to be overconfident and say we're not going to see another terrorist attack. The nuclear weapons are 1930s technology. They're getting easier and easier to acquire. That's our threat, and it could strike us at any time if we don't do a better job in intelligence.
Would you say another terrorist attack is imminent?
It depends on our definition of imminent, but we have a terrorist attack coming in the future, absolutely.
Ishmael Jones, no matter how the civil suit turns out, we thank you for speaking with us and for your service to our country.
Thanks a lot, Ashley. Sure appreciate it.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.